What's going on, guys? JPB Duel here. Hope you guys are enjoying your Thursday. And I would like to apologize for not being able to stream today. I'm having some connection issues with my internet and Yu-Gi-Oh itself. I uninstalled and reinstalled Yu-Gi-Oh 4 times today, but it's still not working out for me. So I hope you guys do understand. And with that being said, for today's video, I am going first. And I start my turn off by normaling out the MCs. Now, if you guys look at my starting hand, it's a pretty good starting hand in the sense that I drew 2 hand trap negates, being the call by and cross out. Call by I use on my opponent's max C and negate it. And guys, never ever take the max C challenge with prankkids, okay? Your normal combo will make your opponent draw at least 7 cards, upwards of 7 cards. And if you try to go into your DPE combo, that's a guaranteed 4-card draw for your opponent. So unless you know you can lose the game next turn, never ever take the maxi challenge. If you know you're going to lose the game next turn if you don't take the maxi challenge, then take it. Why not? Go to the extra mile. Maybe your opponent will not draw into any of their hand traps or negates to negate your combo. Yeah, they'll have a lot of starter cards and stuff like that, but maybe you could play through it. So, you guys already know the combo for prankkids, and the reason why I love going into 2 doodle doos over 1 is just for the prankkids pranks recycle without using up my Meowmoo to get 1 free draw. So I activate the Roxy's, banish the Kaiju in my hand, draw into a Raigeki. So Raigeki, pretty nice. The hard copy of Raigeki will allow me to wipe up my opponent's board once I'm done using my Butler, and if he's left with monsters on the field after I'm done with my Butler. Also, I run 1 copy of the Ghost Spell. Never ever banish the Ghost Spell in your hand unless you really have to, because Ghost Spell is a really good card to use against Eldritch, against SwordSoul, against almost all meta decks, because it negates DPE's activation in the graveyard. It negates SwordSoul's activations of the Sovereign to banish cards on the field. It negates Call by the Grave. So don't ever banish it. It's a really good card to have in your hand. So my end board is my Bow Bark, my Fansies, Pranks active, Set Down, Cross Out, and Panda. I end my turn, activate Pranks, draw into Fusion, and on my opponent's draw phase, I activate Bow Bark. My opponent had no negations towards any of my combos, so I get my Prankkids Battle Butler combo ongoing. Now, if you guys notice right here, I did not chain link my Pandemonium activation to his Pot of Desires. Hold on to your Pandemonium until you absolutely have to pop it to go into your Butler. Because if you pop it prematurely and you go into your Butler, if your opponent has an Imperm in their hand and they have no cards on the field, that means they could activate the Imperm from their hand, Imperm your Butler, that way your Butler would be a dead card on the field. No negates from the Butler. No card destructions from the Butler. Always try to go into Pandemonium once they get cards on the field, right? So he shows me he's playing SwordSoul. He activates Longyan. I know this Longyan is gonna instantly go into Baron de Fleur to negate my activation. So what do? I chain link my Pandemonium to the activation of Longyan. So in the chain link resolution, I get my Butler on the field. Then my opponent gets the Longyan on the field. Longyan gives him a token. Now, the priority is passed on over to me because I have graveyard activations. Graveyard activations goes first, and I could chain link my Butler pop with my graveyard activation. That way, my opponent cannot go into his Baron de Fleur using Longyan. So I chain my Butler pop to my Prankkids graveyard activation, pop his Longyan, and you guys already know what's about to happen. You guys watch my videos, I tell you I love going into 2 copies of Dropsies on the field off of my Butler combo. That way, my opponent will be forced to either use a banish or bounce on my Dropsies or waste 1 attack into it. Otherwise, it's a guaranteed totally awesome on my turn. He specials out Ecclesia, goes into Taye. I pop my Butler right there. So Taye token gone. Then he normals out Moye. That was his normal summon, okay? He used up his normal summon on the Moye. Moye gets the token, goes into Grandmaster. Activate Moye from the graveyard. I have nothing I can use towards this, okay? I have no negations whatsoever. Moye draws in the card, and then for the Grandmaster, he searches for a SwordSoul Blackout. Now, if you guys are paying attention, you would know he already activated the Longyan once, so there's no point in searching for a Longyan anymore off of Grandmaster. Now I know one of the cards he set down is a SwordSoul Blackout. SwordSoul Blackout, the activation condition for SwordSoul Blackout is that the opponent has to have one worm type monster on the field. The Grandmaster is a worm type monster, so as long as I could get rid of this monster on the field, SwordSoul Blackout is pretty much useless. So if I had a Kaiju in my hand, I could have Kaiju this, SwordSoul Blackout becomes useless, right? So let's see what I draw into first. On my turn draw phase, I draw into Thunder Dragon Fusion. I know for a fact that now I have more than enough damage in my on my field. I will have more than enough damage on my field to kill my opponent this turn. So, first of all, I activate Raigeki, right? Before I do any of that, first of all, normal summon now, XZ summon Totally Awesome. That way, if he activates any activation, I could negate it. Then, I use Raigeki. My opponent flips over a crossout to cross out my Raigeki by banishing his own Raigeki. I activate my own crossout to cross out my opponent's crossout by banishing a crossout from my deck. I know that's a mouthful, but the chain link will still keep going, okay? Now he activates Grandmaster to target my Totally Awesome. To which I use my Totally Awesome, pop my Totally Awesome, negate. He will activate SwordSoul Blackout, target the Grandmaster to target my pranks and my crossout. That is a 6 chain link on my turn main phase 1. So I cannot yoink the Grandmaster. Why? Because Totally Awesome has conditions it has to meet to be able to yoink it. First, it has to negate, then it has to destroy. Destroy meaning it has to be from the hand or on the field. If you do not destroy your opponent's monster, you cannot yoink that monster. So sadly, I couldn't yoink the Grandmaster. Use Totally in the graveyard, activate it, get a copy of Dropsies. Normal out the Dropsies, go towards my combo. So I have broken my opponent's field completely, right? My opponent has nothing he can do. Even if he has Nib, on my 5th special off of the Lamseed Resolve, if he nibs me, we don't care. We have Instant Fusion to play through Nib, and we have Thunder Dragon Fusion in our hand to even get the Butler on the field. So I activate the Doodle-Doo, target the Butler plus the pranks, so that way I can use Thunder Dragon Fusion, recycle cards from my graveyard, go into my Butler. So my Butler's gonna hit the field, right? That's gonna activate my prank is placed, boost up my cards by 500. So, okay. On my 5th special, my opponent's side of the field highlighted. When I was playing the game, my opponent's side of the field highlighted, so I know for a fact my opponent had a NIBIRU. I had no cards in my hand to negate that NIBIRU. So I tried to bait out my opponent's NIBIRU first. So you guys see right here, I went into Thunder Dragon Fusion to put my Butler on the field to maybe bait out my opponent's NIBIRU, which it was successful in. So I baited it out. He gave me a token. I activate Butler from my grave, target Totally Awesome. So Totally Awesome is back onto the field again to negate anything my opponent throws at me. Now, I use my Instant Fusion, go into Rocket Ride. Again, as I told you, I know I have enough damage in my hand to kill my opponent even through a Nib. So, Instant Fusion gives me access to my Doodle-Doo plus my Dropsies. I use the Nib token, go into Link Spider. Link Spider plus my Doodle-Doo equals my Nightmare. Nightmare bounces the Nib. Nightmare plus my Dropsies goes into Access Code. Access Code comes on the field with 5300 attack, and this right here is pretty much game over. So as I told you guys, I knew for a fact I had enough damage in my hand, looking at the cards in my hand I had, to play through Nib and kill him after. That's gonna be the end of the game, guys. If you guys do like this kind of videos, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing to my channel for more videos, maybe coming online on my Twitch when I do play these games, maybe play with me. And with that being said, this is JPB Duel signing out for today. See you guys in the next video. Peace!